Let's eliminate racial bias. That sounds like such a good idea, doesn't it? But what can you or I really do about it? Today, I'm going to share 3 life lessons that I've been working on. Hi, this is Marlena Fiol from Becoming Who We Truly Are. If you're searching to better understand and to become the truest version of yourself, you've come to the right place. Here are some facts, not very pretty facts. The U.S. was founded on racism. Our European ancestors annihilated 90% of the native people who were here before we came. They enslaved millions of people from the continent of Africa. And following the Mexican-American War, the U.S. took land formerly owned by Mexico, destroying the lives of Hispanic natives who were there before them. I don't see any time in the history of this country when there was a healthy relationship between the white European people who came here and everyone else. Today, white people and people of color fall on opposite ends of virtually all measurable social indicators, from infant mortality, rates of poverty, unemployment, wealth, incarceration rates, education, housing, healthcare, the list goes on and on. In the words of boxing champion and renowned social activist Muhammad Ali, hating people because of their color is wrong. And it doesn't matter which color does the hating, it's just plain wrong. The question, though, is what can you or I do about it? Here are this week's 3 life lessons I'm working on. First, instead of trying to hide from the truth about my own racial biases, I will acknowledge the need to change the biases buried deep within me. Second, I'll work on letting go of those racial biases within me that come from my own long history of benefiting from our current economic and social structures. And third, I will invest resources to support those who are out there working to change the lives of the disadvantaged. Thomas DeWolf, an author and the executive director of Coming to the Table, was a guest on my August 3, 2021 YouTube episode. Tom talked about the changes that were needed and the challenges of healing the deep wounds of racism in our society. But when anything rocks our boat, our natural tendency is to be afraid of it, or freeze, or maybe pretend it doesn't really exist. Unfortunately, these strategies do nothing to improve the relationships between people in our country or between different groups around the world. Easy to feel small and to believe that those problems out there are much too large and that there's nothing that I can do about it. Our political and economic societal structures do keep the current biases in place. However, Tom DeWolf and I both believe that the collective is not going to change until we, you and I, first transform our individual beliefs and prejudices. Thereby, we create a demand for these changes at the societal level. That means that reducing racial bias begins with you and me, each of us in our little corner of the world. To learn more, check out these resources. First, a TEDx presentation by Ming Francis. Let's get to the root of racial injustice. And for a deeper look at my own experiences in dealing with social biases, I recommend both my 2020 memoir, Nothing Bad Between Us, as well as our 2021 epic true story called. The web addresses of each of these are in the show notes below. And remember, we are together on this journey.